If you're not quite ready to retire, your biggest barrier to moving abroad is going to be two things: employment as well as residency requirements. This is because many countries have programs already set up and facilitated to help retirees, people who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, relocate and get residency in those countries. And they have what's called as pension visa or retirement visas for those who are 50 years of age or older. And so there's a more clear track for that demographic to immigrate to different countries. And this is not just one country, there are many countries such as Colombia. I mentioned, I did a video regarding that, as well as Thailand, the Philippines, Costa Rica, and Mexico. There are many options for those who are of retirement age or approaching retirement age. And as I explained in another video, that there's even medical visas that are available for that demographic, where they welcome people who may need medical attention, and that you're not seen necessarily as a burden because you are immigrating to that country in order to benefit from their socialized medicine or their efficient medicine. It's not taboo. However, there's that demographic that are in their 20s and 30s and 40s that are really struggling, who want to move abroad, but are struggling to find remote work. There's only three tracks for someone in their 20s, 30s, 40s who's not quite at retirement age, but would like to move abroad and cannot move abroad based on the pension visa, as I mentioned earlier. And that is A, you have to have self-employment and be able to sustain your self-employment abroad. B, you have to find remote work opportunities. Or C, you can find opportunities in the country that you plan on relocating to. Word of caution, it's very difficult to find employment that way because many countries reserve their employment for their nationals, and they're really reluctant to offer employment to foreign nationals unless it's a very niche skill that you have, in which case they'll invite you to come over and be able to work in that country because you provide specialized knowledge or specialized skill. But if you are not in that population and you are not a specialized worker with the special skills, such as an engineer, a doctor, a nurse, perhaps a linguist, something really niche and specialized, it's really going to be difficult for you to find employment. However, which is the reason why I'm doing this video, you're going to have to rely on remote work. But I know many people are frustrated with finding remote work, especially for US-based companies, which is why I'm doing this video, which discusses remote work opportunities for global companies. Yes, global companies. So if you're on the track of trying to find remote work, sorry about that, you're going to have to broaden your horizons, or it's in your best interest, I should say, to broaden your horizons and consider international companies, as well as different sites. I know Indeed and LinkedIn right now not necessarily the most helpful with securing employment in general. And so I'm going to offer a few options for you, and I will also link their websites in the description box. So I'm going to provide a list of sites dedicated to helping you find remote work. These companies are national as well as international. So it's just about, there's opportunities available for you, but you have to broaden your horizon as to where you're looking. So I'm going to provide a list of remote work opportunities. And this is for people who want to work for a specific company, an international company, as well as freelancers for looking for clients. All of this will be mixed in this list. So the first company is called Wellfound. Wellfound, and it connects job seekers in fields like engineering, product, tech, product design directly with founders at leading startups. The platform is transparent about salary and equity, and users can apply with a simple profile and no cover letter is needed. ARC is another site, ARC. It's a remote career platform offering full-time and freelance roles for developers, designers, marketers, product managers, product management, and operations. And you could specify which country, which is cool. Contra, CON, is a freelance marketplace connecting creatives and professionals with flexible work opportunities. It's a hub to market your freelance skills so people can find you and hire you. And the freelancers, the niche of freelancers on there is very varied. You have attorneys, you have paralegals, you have content creators, you have video editors, so it's really diverse. You have project managers, virtual assistants, and freelancers keep 100% of their earnings and have access to tools that help them manage their workflow. It's not specific to any field. And as I mentioned, there's even lawyers on there that can help you draft contracts. So if you are owner of a small business and you're looking to find freelancers, this is a good place for you to go to as well. FlexJobs, it's a pretty popular site. I've talked about it before. It specializes in remote and flexible jobs across 50 or more career fields. The site hand screens each listing and offers services like resume review and job support. You do have to pay for this site though, but different industries as well as different countries. Now, the Mom Project, which I thought was interesting, connects moms with flexible work opportunities for family friendly employers, those who are considerate that they're moms who can only dedicate a certain amount of time a week to work but want to be gainfully employed. It offers support through mentorship, community resources, and events designed to help female professionals re enter or remain in the workforce, even if they have children. Just Remote, Just Remote helps professionals find work in categories like customer service, design, and development. The platform allows filtering by country and time zone overlap and gives access to what's called exclusive hidden job listings. But there's a fee. There's a fee as well for Just Remote. And I am ambivalent about sites where people have to pay in order to find jobs. But I don't have much experience in these sites. So if you know more about paying to find jobs and whether or not it's useful, please do add in the comment section and let me know the likelihood of success, the better opportunities when you do pay on these sites. Truly Remote is another site. This is built for professionals who want location freedom without sacrificing impact. And this platform, I think it was built by a bunch of freelancers who wanted to centralize this data for other freelancers. So it also highlights underrepresented talent, connecting candidates with companies that prioritize inclusion, innovation, and flexibility. So this has freelance opportunities as well as companies that really focus on remote work, again, nationally as well as internationally. And so these are companies that prioritize flexibility as well as diversity and providing and hiring underrepresented groups. JobStreet is another site for banking administration, and there's a lot of opportunities in Asia, specifically Singapore. So those are the sites. Again, I'll list them in the description box. If you have experience with any of these sites, please, I would love for you to weigh in. Also, I have some tips regarding the job search because I was there once too. And yes, it was a barrier to moving abroad. I wanted to move abroad in 2018, 2019. I started to really get frustrated with the United States. But my barrier was that I was still working for a law firm that did not offer remote work. So I had to grim and bear it for several years before I was able to have my practice fully sustain me. So it was from like 2018, 2019 to 2022 where I went fully remote and where I was really just grinding, trying to help my practice develop. So if you're feeling frustrated, just know it was not overnight for me. It was several years in the making. And I remember it was like September of 2022 and I submitted my resignation. And of course I was scared, but I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I have no choice. God, catch me on the other side. And it's been several years since then. And my practice has continued to grow every year, thankfully. But yes, that was the major barrier. And I was committed to not moving abroad before I could fully sustain myself based on my work. That was I was not going to move abroad until I could secure my business. My business was robust enough. So just so I could give you my perspective regarding that those 2 years, it was a lot about planning and saving money and downsizing and things like that. And even dealing with the residency. So it's a long-term plan. So you should not feel frustrated that you need to do this overnight. And things fall into place when you take your time and you do it strategically and deliberately. And I was able to have a soft landing because I purchased a house. So you could see the video regarding that. And I will link that too. And it talks a little more in depth about my journeys. So in terms of tips, please be patient with yourself. 2, if you have a business, give yourself time to develop it for it to become more robust. And then you'll know when it's the right time and that your business is extensive enough to sustain you in another country. Some people, they could relocate without that, but that's not me. And for others who need that type of security, I thought sharing my story would be helpful. So, other tips: broaden your horizons. I suggest you focus on international companies to find and secure employment because they want you to win. I don't know what's going on with US employers, but been going on since 2008. I feel like there's been a lot of game playing with multiple interviews, 4 or 5 interviews to decide on a candidate. And in other markets, other countries, the hiring process is a lot more transparent. They post a job to hire someone. In the United States, they post a job. I don't know. They must get some sort of tax credit. If you know more about this, please let me know. But it's just so much game playing. So broaden your horizons, apply to international companies. Like I mentioned, JobStreet is a site dedicated to hiring international. They're hiring a lot in Singapore, and specialized skills are not needed. They have positions in operations, they have administrative positions. So take a look at that. Also, if you have an additional language skill, leverage that. That is coveted. The American education system has not prioritized learning another language, but almost every other country has. So to improve your candidacy, use this time also to take language classes to improve your candidacy because you are competing with a global market where most of these people speak 2 or 3 languages. I started learning Spanish in elementary school and I continued through my professional development through law school. Like I never lost it. Same thing. I learned Italian in college and I kept it up and continued to take lessons, and it has benefited me. And it has benefited me tremendously and given me such confidence that to live anywhere in the world because I know I'm capable of picking up the language. And I know that's a big barrier for many people. So if you do already speak multiple languages, use that, leverage that. And if you don't speak language, use this time to learn another language because you're going to need it wherever you are relocating to. Even if you speak English, English is a powerful, powerful language. It's the language of commerce, but it can't hurt you to learn another language as well. So that's my video for those who are in their 20s and 30s and 40s looking to move abroad and you are struggling regarding the employment and finding remote work. Hopefully this information has been helpful. If you have been successful finding work on any of these sites, I would love for you to weigh in and provide some feedback for those to encourage those who are on this journey as well. If you have any other questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section. I do have another video where I discuss some other sites and I'll be sure to link that. I think it's called They Want You to Succeed. It's sort of tongue in cheek that other international markets actually post jobs for hiring, whereas in the US, they post the jobs for some other reason. And so it encourages you, and it's to encourage you to think about other sites, other opportunities in other countries. Also, something to consider. You may be only interested in remote opportunities or think you're only interested in remote opportunities. However, there are countries that are hiring that require you to be on site, but that might be an opportunity for you to relocate there. And you may not mind going into the office and meeting people and getting acclimated to the country, but you have a clear path to relocating abroad, even if it's through a job where you are required to be in the office. So also think about that. You may be anti going into the office while you're living in the United States, but motivated to go into the office living in another country. I know I would be. So again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you need help moving abroad and you have nowhere where to begin, I do have a program to help you and guide you as an attorney. Iron out all the steps that you need to be thinking about, such as residency, finding an apartment or home, finding schools for you, as well as if you have young children. So health insurance, so all of the things that you would be thinking about or encountering on your relocation abroad, on your relocation journey. So if you need guidance regarding that, my link to work with me will be in the description box. Also, if you decide you want to stay in the United States, but you need access to healthcare and you're curious about becoming a medical tourist, you can also connect with me through Access Wellness Abroad. That's my company dedicated to relocation as well as medical tourism. So if you're curious and you are dealing with a health condition and you are dealing with so much rigmarole regarding accessing a doctor or getting certain tests done, then think about becoming a medical tourist. We have a trip planned going to Colombia in the next few weeks where you'll have an opportunity to meet with a team of doctors to address your health concern. Colombia outranks the United States and Canada when it comes to healthcare. The healthcare is robust, extensive, innovative, very little administrative hurdles. So you can see several of your doctors in one day and don't have to deal with insurance companies and referrals and waiting weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, which is why I chose Colombia, because it is recognized globally as a hub because of its efficiency at a fraction of what it costs for Americans to access the same healthcare in the United States. So it's really a gem. So if you have the mindset where you're tired of dealing with healthcare in the United States, then think about medical tourism. More people are going to have to start thinking about it. I did another video yesterday that spoke about medical professionals leaving the US to practice medicine in Canada. So whether that's an exodus or a movement, we shall see. But you should be prepared, especially if you have a chronic condition, that your doctor may be moving abroad and you want to have a plan B so that you can access healthcare. And that may mean traveling to another country. Don't discount it yet. We don't know what's coming. So I will see you next time. Bye bye.